Hi there, my name is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Thank you very much for joining me today on today's video blog. Today's subject, what I want to talk about is what is a functioning alcoholic? And I think this is a very important point because I think we have this kind of stereotypical image in the general population of what an alcoholic is. And I think this definition, this label, and this image that we create causes a problem for us because we look at this and we look at the way Hollywood portrays an alcoholic. You know, the kind of stumbling around, can't hold down a job, drinking out of a brown paper bag sort of thing. We look at that and think, well, that's not me. I'm not like that, so I can't have a problem. And people carry on drinking. But I'd say probably around 95% of the people that join my online Stop Drinking program are not like that at all. You know, maybe they stumble around and look like that in private on a night when they're home alone or with their family, but certainly from the point of view of the rest of the world, they're normal individuals. And back when I was a drinker, I was drinking 2 bottles of wine a night. And I would wake up every morning feeling absolutely terrible, not just physically, but, the guilt and the regret that I couldn't control myself yet again. And the money I was spending, and the quality time I was missing with my family was just all horrible, horrible, horrible every morning. And I would drag myself into work and, I'd sit at my desk and have my cup of coffee and pull myself together. And then I would be in work mode. I would be in meetings, I would be chairing presentations and get-togethers and coaching people and entirely functional. Nobody would know that I was drinking myself to death because I was entirely capable of doing my job. Back when I was at the peak of my addiction, I was the director of 2 companies. I was the chair and a patron of a big children's charity. I was extremely functional in society. I was looked upon as a high-performing individual. I was in a very good job, working with big sums of money for a big company, and in a position of authority and power. But every night I would go home, and as soon as my foot crossed the door, I opened a bottle of wine, and I would sit like a zombie in front of the television until I collapsed into some sort of alcoholic coma. I got to bed at 8 p.m. every night. 8 p.m., even before my children. And I'd be in bed for 11 hours straight, and I'd wake up exhausted. And the loop carried on like this for, over a decade. Close to 2 decades, my full drinking career, if you want to call it that. But a functioning alcoholic is very common. But the problem is, because we don't have all the evidence to say we need to take action, maybe we haven't got DUIs, maybe we haven't missed days of work, maybe we aren't in trouble with our boss, maybe we're not, we haven't been fired and we can't afford to pay the mortgage. Because we haven't got all these very painful indicators that we have a problem with alcohol, there is a temptation to say, well, I must be normal then. And indeed, when I was a drinker, I would ask people at work, do you drink wine every night? And they'd say, yes. Everyone would say, yeah. I'd say, look, I diluted a little bit here because I didn't want them to know exactly how much I was drinking. But I would say to them, look, I'm drinking a bottle of wine every night. And they would say, yeah, me too. And I'd think, oh, good. That means I'm normal. I don't have a problem. I'm normal. And this is dangerous because it means that we don't actually accept our problem for a very long time until it becomes unavoidable. And for me, that was when I physically started to deteriorate. I developed a pain in my abdomen, and I tried everything to make it go away. I went to the doctor and said, I've got IBS. Give me something for IBS. And it wasn't IBS, obviously. I mean, it wasn't anything that I, came up with as a solution, but I just didn't want to accept that it was alcohol that was damaging my body. I thought, I've got Crohn's disease. Oh, it's terrible, but at least it's not the drinking. And eventually when I went to a specialist and they measured my liver enzymes and did an ultrasound, and my liver enzymes were off the scale. That pain in my side was being caused by the swelling of my liver pressing on other internal organs. You see, this is the problem because the liver has no nerve endings in it. So you can't feel how much damage you're doing until the problem becomes so bad that the liver is so big that it is pressing on other sensitive areas in your body. And it was only at this point when I couldn't really defend my actions anymore. I couldn't say, but I'm the same as everyone else. I'm normal. Because everyone drinks every night. And this is one of the illusions of alcohol, that there is a safety in numbers. And there isn't, It doesn't matter how many people drink. It doesn't affect your chances of getting something horrendous like cirrhosis or kidney failure or pancreatic cancer or mouth cancer or something like that. It's like, it's like playing roulette and assuming that just because red came up 10 times in a row, the black will be next. Only a fool thinks like that, because the roulette wheel has no memory. Doesn't care what went before, doesn't care what went 100 times before. Makes no difference. Every spin of the wheel is a different spin. Odds are the same. And it's the same with alcohol. It doesn't matter if all your friends drink. Doesn't matter if the whole Western world drinks. Doesn't improve your odds. You've still got an extremely high chance of developing something terrible. I mean, your chance of cancer goes through the roof when you drink. If you smoke as well, you might as well order cancer in the post because it's coming. So what I want to get out there is a message that just because you don't fit the stereotype, just because you don't sit in the park with a bottle of cheap whiskey in a brown paper bag, swigging it and shouting at children, just because you haven't got any DUIs doesn't mean you don't have an issue to deal with. If you're waking up most mornings regretting how much you drank before, you need to take action now. Because problems with alcohol never get better on their own. Never. It's almost impossible. 'Tis the nature of the drug that it will just keep getting worse until it kills you. So you have to take action, and you have to take action now. I hope you can. I hope you can decide now that you're going to get this poison out of your life. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions or suggestions of other topics that you would like to be covered, post a comment below or drop me an email via the website www.stopdrinkingexpert.com, and I will speak to you very soon. Thank you.